So, interview with Jacob Wood. Question 1. What is your work about?
My work is about the investigation of objects. What does it mean to make an object? What does it mean to question the functionality of an object? And I'm really interested in what happens when you take away the origin of an object. I've been creating what I think of as artifacts, and lately I've been kind of trying to find what an artifact is, and I've found that it really doesn't need an origin or time. I like to consider myself, it can come from the future or the past, or in between. Yeah.
What traditions are you working out of?
Well, I try not to consider myself to go against the grain in the art world, but I do use a lot of traditions that that can be found, 100 years, 2 years ago, where you find a clockmaker or a cabinet maker, and they use like these really hands-on techniques. I like to bring those traditions into my work because it really allows me to slow down time and really focus on the materials. And that kind of gives me the opportunity to really heighten my work, and it does do a lot of the work for me, which obviously makes my job a lot easier. And I use traditions found in carpentry, stonemasonry, a lot of craft-based skills, and obviously that has its own history tied to it too.
And how are you contributing to those traditions or expanding on them?
Well, you don't really find these traditions very often now, and I'd like to think that I'm kind of evolving them a little bit. Usually these traditions have like a set goal. A cabinet maker would make a cabinet for a client, but I'm really taking away that. In my work, I take away the functionality of the object, and the tradition or the skill set, I'm taking away the functionality of the skill set. I am getting a task done, but it's not really what you would usually find in that tradition.
It's a complicated and fast-paced world. In what way does your work comment on this, or perhaps not? But then tell me why.
Well, like I said before, I really try not to stand out too much. Every artist is a little conceited and we want to. I'm really glad that I'm bringing these traditions and skills forward, and I'm able to kind of produce work that really defines myself as an artist and a craftsman, because I still consider myself a craftsman too, which can be separated from an artist. A craftsman, they have a skill set or an idea just to get a job done, and I try to bring that forward to my art.
And whom do you admire?
Recently I've been thinking a lot about Martin Purier. I wish I could say that my work wasn't inspired from him, but it's kind of hard to avoid him. He makes objects that tie into culture, but also he uses same techniques that I've been using to produce these objects that really express himself in terms of his culture and a lot of like past ideas.
I want to switch up question 5 a bit.
Yeah.
What is your relationship to the art world? And then I'll continue with the follow-up questions.
All right.
Or what would you want your relationship to be?
Well, lately I've been having a lot of trouble with that question because a lot of people have been asking me. I would love to be able to say I want myself to be in a gallery like now, but I don't think my work is that far yet. I could be shooting myself for saying that, but it's true. But ideally, I would love for my work to be in a public space, because it's really easy to be able to put yourself in a gallery and call it art. But for it to be in a public space where the whole public can see it, and not just the art world would be really interesting. Because I like to think my work connects with not just the art world and people who know what art is and what's about. I like to connect to people that don't exactly have that vocabulary.
You talked about like the audience. What do you want people to take away from your art? What's the message and what's the experience?
Probably something really similar to when you're a kid and you see an object for the first time and you're really wondering, what does it do? What's it doing there? How old is it? I've always liked that feeling, because then you really want to investigate something a lot more, and it makes it really easy for people who want to investigate my work. They see they see a certain aspect and they want to interact with it, either visually or physically. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.